Hey guys, I'm Josh and welcome to episode 5 of Audiophile Setup Tours. Today's gonna be a little bit longer, a little bit more chilled out. I'm feeling a little bit sick, but there's some really kick-ass setups today, so I'm excited to show them off. If you got a cup of coffee, or if you don't, go and make one, come back and hang out. So I wanna send a huge thank you to the 5 individuals who submitted their setups who I'll be featuring today. If you wanna learn how to submit your setup, there's a link in the description down below, as well as everything that I talk about in this video. So Robert, Michael, Chris, Ricardo, and Kelvin, thank you very much for submitting your setups. You guys are awesome. Thank you for supporting the show. And you guys have some great setups here. All right, so we're gonna be talking about Kelvin's first, and Kelvin has an incredibly aesthetic build. Just looking at the pictures here, this is some really awesome looking setup. The lighting is amazing. The photos are amazing. You're definitely using a nice camera and a nice lens, and I can definitely appreciate that. So let's look at the gear that he has. He has a couple different setups. He has a room setup, an office setup, and a mobile setup, and we're gonna be going over all of those, starting with the living room. So for the speakers, he has Spender D9s. Part of the reason why I love these setups is I hear about companies that I've never heard of, and I feel like I'm pretty entrenched into the audiophile world, but there are speaker companies that I've never heard of. Spender is one of them. And in fact, I'm gonna look them up right now because I'm kind of curious. Yeah, these look like some great speakers here. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that brand. He didn't make any notes on whether or not they sound great or anything, but they look like they sound awesome. He also has a Rel S5 SHO subwoofer, and that's a really nice subwoofer. Rel is one of the best. For his integrated amplifier, he has a Line Magnetic 805IA with NOS tubes. He says all the stock tubes have been rotated out, but even with stock tubes, I found this amp better than any Macintosh or Eagle that he has heard. His words, not mine. And then he has a streamer, which is a Lumen T2. He says it's room enabled. This streaming sounds amazing. He listens to Tidal and his local files with his Roon network. And he thought it sounded better than the PS Audio Direct Stream Junior that he had. Now, I actually love it when you guys put some notes about kind of your setup, more than just the gear list, because I do need that gear list to be able to list everything that you have there. But when you put little notes in, it's great. Like this guy's like, I sometimes retreat to my office to do some work and listening while my wife is watching her programming. And low key, because my girlfriend doesn't watch these videos, hopefully she doesn't watch this one, I do the same thing. She watches TV out front, I go in here. He's got Kelf LS50 wireless. I'm still curious about those. I need to hit a guy. There's a guy in Seattle who I need to go and actually pick them up from him and hang out with him. Sorry about that for putting that off so long. I'm trying to find the time to do it, but it will be soon, I promise. He has ISO Acoustic 200S stands. His headphone amp is a Felix Audio Elise with NOS tubes. He's a big fan of NOS tubes. His DAC is a Mytek Brooklyn DAC Plus. His headphones are 2 really good options. He has an Empyrean and a Clear. Those are very enjoyable headphones. And on a personal note, I think the Clear might be my favorite of the Focal headphones, I think. Then he has cables, which are Norn Audio SilverGuard S3s. Now to go over to his mobile setup, it's pretty simple with an iBasso DX220 and I think it's Jamo or Yamo Flamenco and a Sennheiser IE80s. Dude, I love the pictures. Thank you very much for spending the time to make sure that the pictures look high quality. It seems like you put a lot of effort into the setup, everything from the lighting to the cabinet to the woodwork. It just looks beautiful. It looks like a really chill place to hang out. So thanks for the thumbnail. Thanks very much for submitting your setup. And I look forward to anything else that you have in the future, man. All right, and then Ricardo is next, and Ricardo has a pretty extensive headphone collection and a pretty sweet setup as well. It looks like it's near his bed, which is kind of cool. I've always wanted to set up like a more chilled out listening environment, like a nice chair in the corner, have like your little whiskey set up and have your little like tube amplifier up in there. It just seems awesome. So this is his bedroom setup. He has HD 580s in there, which are still to this day super good. He has a Bluetooth receiver with a Cambridge Audio DAC Magic Plus. That is feeding into a Woo Audio WA6, which is an amazing tube amplifier. Oh, and he actually specifies that he's planning on getting a smaller armchair rather than just the bed, which is awesome. I mean, that's the dream. Now his desk setup over here is actually pretty sweet as well. And he uses Tidal as well. So I don't know if this is just something that's really kind of being popularized in the audio world, or if it just happens to be my audience, but almost everybody who submits says something about streaming services. Like a lot of Tidal, some Google Play, the Cubase or Cobuse, never know how to pronounce that. And I don't know if it's just the audience that I've garnered or if it's like a legitimate like actual thing that people utilize, and there's just like a vocal minority who tends to disagree with it. Streaming services can be super vital, and they can save you a ton of money. Especially with Tidal and the FLAC, a very, very small sacrifice, and I mean very small sacrifice in terms of total sound quality. And on kind of a side note here, and kind of just like a little bit of a logic argument, I guess, or a thought discussion of modern amps and modern DACs and modern headphones and speakers. The thing that affects the sound the most in terms of like harmonic distortion and all those things, headphones and speakers are the thing that affect it the most. So it's arguable that like if you're not getting the best sound quality from your music, you might want to just upgrade your headphones or your speakers that you're listening to, and you're going to get a different experience. Even with like the top of the line FLAC files or DSC or whatever, you're still going to get better experiences with better gear. So back to his setup. Under his desk he has ATH MS R7s, a Odyssey signed closeback headphone, which I actually had here for a while. I didn't end up reviewing it because it's no longer available, but it was a pretty good headphone. Just pretty pricey for, I think, what they were asking for. I think that's a ZMF Aeolus, and I think those Fostexes are the TH900s, if I'm not mistaken, in the green apple color. Yeah, they're the TH900 Mark IIs, limited edition emerald green. For his amplifiers, he has a THX AAA 788, not the 789 that we see a lot. He has that connected via USB to his PC. He, again, specifies that he streams Tidal to it, as well as some FLAC files. He says it's really clean sounding, and he recently got it to replace the Cavalli Tube amp and the Liquid Carbon X and the DAC Magic Plus stack. He just said he sold the amps for just this kind of clean, more minimal, all-in-one device. Now he also has some Bose speakers on there, but I don't see the model number here. But he does say he plans on upgrading those in the future. He just uses them for YouTube videos. Depending on your budget, I would recommend Vanitude Transparent Zeros. You're gonna see other setups with them in here. They're a great pair of desktop speakers. Can't stop recommending those. Literally everybody who has them recommends them. And then just to dabble in his front room, he says he doesn't really have a lot to showcase here, but he has a Shelly Labs Enoch 2 DAC, an SMSL AD18, and Klipsch R51 bookshelf speakers. And Ricardo, I would have loved to see more pictures of that, but it still looks really awesome. And thank you for the thorough pictures and descriptions of everything. It's definitely appreciated. All right, and then next up we have Chris. So for his stereo rig, he has LS50 Black editions. Again, there we go with the LS50s. They're really, really popular. He does not show it, but he does say he has a Polka Audio Tel 1600 subwoofer. He has a Music Fidelity M2 SI integrated amplifier, a Project S2 digital DAC, a shit low-key EQ that he says he rarely uses, ISO Acoustics Aperta stands. He has a couple Blue Jean and AudioQuest cables as well. And then for his headphone rig, he has Sennheiser 6XXs, an SMSL M100 DAC, Monolith Liquid Spark amp. He also has Moon Audio and Signal cable interconnects. And again, he streams all his music through Tidal. You know, I think I'm probably gonna give Tidal a shot in a little bit. In fact, I've actually put a decent amount of thought into this, but never really put it into practice, but it might be something I actively do. But I thought about comparing all the different music streaming services, or at least, the top maybe 5 players or something like that, just to see if there's like noticeable benefits and drawbacks to any of the other streaming services. Because I think a lot of people use them, but I think a lot of people tend to use one. I mean, I'm guilty of this too. This is kind of why I want to try it. But we use one and we kind of stick with it, and we don't really look around to what other options and brands might be out there for us to utilize. All right, Chris, thanks a lot for entering. Looks really awesome, man. Thank you. Then we have Mike with a good looking setup. And again, we have those Vanitude Transparent Zeros on the desktop and a DIY TV monitor stands. He uses a Dark Voice 3.3 SE tube amplifier, and he says with upgraded tubes, but he doesn't specify which ones they are. And then he has the very awesome THX AAA 789. His DAC is a Mytek Liberty, and then he has 2 amazing headphones, the LCD-X and the HD 600s that he specifies are about 15 years old, which is just crazy. I mean, those things are, I think, over 20 years now is how long that design has been going on. And even though they're plastic and they don't feel like the most premium material, they just last forever. Like that's one thing that Sennheiser has down to a T, is the longevity of their devices. They just last. They're completely built to work. I love them for that. And then he actually says he 100% streams from Tidal. The theme of today's video is Tidal, apparently. And then he does have a portable rig that is not shown, but it's the iSign 20s with the cipher into his iPhone. All right, Mike. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Okay, and then last but certainly not least, we only have a few pictures here, but it's a pretty simple setup, but it does look like a lot of fun. and that's gonna be from Robert. Now, Robert has a living room setup. He uses, again, Tidal. I swear I didn't plan this. It just happens to be how it is. He uses Tidal from his Samsung Smart TV. It connects to his SMSL Sanskrit 10th anniversary edition. I love how blunt he is about it. He says, I choose this deck for the remote and it's cheap. It says that he has a Shit Saga Plus and it's on its way, and a Shit Aegir, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I think it's Aegir amplifier to power his KEF Q350s. And in the background, you can see a lot of the old secondhand speakers to to build a decorative speaker wall. Those definitely act in a few cool ways. Great diffusion, and I think it'll look pretty cool as of right now. It's funny because I don't know how it looks in person, but I think that's actually, once it looks like you have some pretty tall ceilings there. And once you get that set up, I think it's gonna look awesome. I think it's gonna look really cool. All the unique, like different designs and the geometric patterns of everything. I think it's gonna look awesome. And a quick side note, I love the green, man. I love plants in spaces like this. Plant up there, I don't know why. I think green is just such a beautiful, underutilized color. All right, Robert, thanks very much for sending your setup in. I highly appreciate it. It looks great. All of your guys' setups actually looked amazing today. So some of you just have just dream setups. Like, I would just love to come hang out, chill, have a cup of coffee, and just listen to some tunes, man. So again, I'm gonna leave links to everything down below. Thank you guys very much for submitting your setup. And one more time, if you want to submit your setup, there's a link to learn how in the description down below. Go check that out. It's real easy, it's real simple, and then you can showcase your setup to the world, or like a few thousand people watch the video. All right, thanks very much, guys. Sorry I'm sick. It's a little bit different pace than normal. All right, peace.